So my messaging had to change. So my challenge was making sure that I could relate to those people and meet them where they are and what they wanted, and stop trying to, how do I say this? Stop trying to find those people, but make it so they can find me. That was the thing. It was a whole mindset shift.
All branding is personal, and it's not about who you say you are. It's about who you are and how you say it. I'm Hirsch Repu, copywriter, comedian, and brand voice expert. I've helped hundreds of companies fine-tune their messaging, and now I'm sitting down with some of the most ambitious and imaginative founders around who share their 7-figure and 8-figure stories and next-figure goals. Let's hit the brand voice runway. Welcome to Brand Voice Runway. This is one of our initial episodes. It's a shorter episode than what you're typically going to hear and see on this show, but it'll give you a sense of what the show is like and hopefully make you a faithful follower once you've listened to it. And so what I've done for these is line up very special guests, like my guest today, Dr. Barrett Matthews of Media Boss Pro. Barrett is a forward-thinking dude, and he's actually really helping forward-thinking businesses drive their competitors nuts, is what his offering is. He drives them nuts by using diverse media platforms to gain visibility and profitability without wasting their time. And thank you, Barrett, for doing this, man. I really appreciate it.
Hirsch, you know it's my pleasure, buddy.
I do. I know. It's my pleasure too, man. It's so great to see you. Okay. So what I'm going to do with this short episode is I'm going to ask you really one question, maybe two. But the question that I really want to ask you is about the biggest messaging challenge that you're facing as you grow your business.
Well, that's interesting. You said that last part, especially as you grow, because the messaging changes. Because, I mean, you can relate to this. You know, I was messaging the people at a lower revenue range who wanted less out of me. And my messaging was catered to them because, to be honest with you, I was messaging just to get clients in. And now I had to change my messaging more to not just get clients. I have to get quality clients now. And I want people who not only want my service, but they want to grow. As my business grows, I want them growing. And I want people who are in a certain revenue range with their businesses, because their businesses can grow, their businesses can scale if I have the right person. So my messaging had to change. So my challenge was making sure that I could relate to those people and meet them where they are and what they wanted, and stop trying to, how do I say this? Stop trying to find those people, but make it so they can find me. And that was the thing. It was a whole mindset shift. I had to change that because a lot of us spend a lot of time chasing people, trying to find those people. And I had to make it so they could find me. And that was the biggest challenge, in that mindset shift of how I message people. And that was the big thing for me. Yeah.
I mean, the reality is that we all want to get to that place, and then we all want to go to the next figure. And when I started using the term next figure, because I wanted my listeners to understand that it isn't about being $1 million or 10 million or $50 million or $100 million business. It's about the next figure. It's like you get to the next place by controlling your message. And what you're saying is very much in line with the people that I have been interviewing for this show, which is a grounded idea of, my message has to change. I have to change it. If I want to get the results and I want to get the people that as customers that I want, then I got to do something, and it's going to evolve, and it's not going to, it's not going to be the same next year necessarily as it is this year. There's a difference between an ethos, and who you are as a brand, and a core value. There's a difference between a core value and what you are actually messaging to your people. And the difference, the thing is that they have to be connected. They have to be connected. Your core value is connected to your message, but it isn't your message. It isn't just your only message.
I agree.
And tell me this, because you also are a very heart-centered individual. And that's one of the things I really love about you. Your World Civility Ambassador. Tell us a little bit about it.
Sure. A friend I work with, Dr. Clyde Rivers, he formed an organization called I Change Nations, and they promote civility and peace all around the world, and several countries all around the world. And I was honored to be bestowed upon the distinction of a World Civility Ambassador with that organization. So I was basically given the authority to represent them and going to people all around the world, this country, any other country, to promote civility and put together initiatives, to put together different programs to help people to be civil towards one another. I'm a big sports fan. One of the things I'm putting together is a civility in sports initiative. So we're going to be working with some people to try to get some people in sports from the little league level on up to the professional level, from players to management, to be more civil towards one another and how they work together, to make that one of the things we work on.
That's fantastic, because, the point that really shines a light on is that no matter how heated things get out in the world, and it's like, we need that constantly in this world. We need this infusion of it. And so I'm glad
that says you can't disagree with someone. It just means that you can still be civil. And someone once told me, Hirsch, that if two people agree on everything, one of them isn't necessary.
That's right. That's awesome. Well, let me bring it around and bring it together with this.
Sure.
So, because we touched on that, and because I know it's such a big part of who you are, how does kindness play a role, like a central role, in messaging and in brand building for you?
Well, it's the simple phrase of, people do business with people that they know, like, and trust. And no one wants to do business with someone that they just have a sour taste with. So being civil towards someone, even if you don't agree with what they're doing, even if you don't agree with what they're saying, even if you don't agree with how they want to approach you, sometimes you can still be civil towards them. That doesn't mean you have to buy into it. You've heard the expression of kill someone with kindness. I've done it several times. I remember plenty of times where people have been not so nice towards me, but I came back at them in a nice way, and it calmed them down, because they had no choice, because I was not going to engage. And when that happens, you can start to build something, you can start to grow, and then you can start to and usually a lot of times in that situation, they may even apologize at the way they come off, because they realize, you know what, I was wrong because this person didn't engage, and you know what, why did I do that? So then they may come back and apologize, and you can go forward from there. You can start building relationships, because we all know long-term business means long-term relationships.
If you've enjoyed this episode of Brand Voice Runway, please leave a 5-star review and subscribe to the podcast. The positive reinforcement keeps us going. Who am I kidding? Founders like us keep going regardless. Thanks so much for listening, and make tomorrow greater than today.